Royal Islands, Port of London, Rose Tower, War Room. Noble girl sat by her radio equipment, attentively recording and listening. Half a year had passed since she received a response, and she still didn't know where her allies were. Despite that, she adjusted her previously set in stone plans to be able to receive guests at a moment's gesture. She split her daily communication time between morning and afternoon and added several new intel receivers. She also canceled her simulations, extended her live combat time, restarted multiple palm production lines, and gradually expanded the territory under her control. Combat sectors 8 through 12 are still silent. All activity has completely ceased. No increase or decrease in points of interest. Where's 11? I can see 8, 9, 10, 12. Where's 11? Northumbria sector. The road is over halfway complete and an initial patrol fleet has been formed. Production lines are up and running. No increase or decrease in points of interest. The Mercia sector is still advancing steadily. The patrol fleet launched 3 attacks this morning and successfully cleared 3 points of interest. All is normal in the control area, likewise for the production lines. The Essex, Sussex, East Anglia, and Kent sectors are stable with 0 points of interest. All is normal in the control area, likewise for the production lines. The Wessex sector. Huh? 13 new points of interest in the vicinity of the Isle of Wight? How could that be? Yesterday is no indication of a beastly tide occurring. Gloucester. Please tell the main fleet in the Wessex sector to head there at once and immediately eliminate the hostiles. Edinburgh, please open the sluices and all waterways from Thames to the Eastern. I need to see it for myself. I guess that's still a thing from an event almost a year ago. Rhys safely returned to the Mezek had makes Lion's quick thinking. The ship took the air and everything seemed to have gone well. The giant white creatures, however, were not going to let their prey flee just like that. Swarms of flying creatures rose in the air and encircled the Mezek tent like a swarm of locusts, chipping away at the shield. This forced them to rear out energy of the shield generator just to keep it up, which reduced their already low speed even further. Yes, Governor, we need to land in the water. We're seeing ducks in the air. At least in the water we can fight back. Stay calm. Have faith in the realm's technology. The Mezek has an emergency evacuation system. If worst comes to worst, we can still go home. Should it come to that, though, the New World expedition I've yearned for will meet an anticlimactic end. I would hate for that to happen. It's all the more reason for us to land. Then we can fight. If we start losing, we can just retreat again. No, it's far too risky. No, sadly you're right. I can come back for another expedition, but I cannot come back from death. We'll backtrack, calibrate the lighthouse, prepare a homeward beacon as well, and then we'll... With a dazzling light, an opulent train manifested in midair. It flew toward the Mezek at a breakneck speed and used its tremendous firepower to rip apart all the enemies in its path. A train? In the air? Reinforcements for the world's inhabitants! The darkest hour is just before the dawn! That's quite the stunning train. Miss Governor, if that train ends up in deep water, I don't think we'll be able to help. Whatever happens, happens. Right now, assist them in taking out these enemies. So we're going to land, I presume? Like hell we will. They're airborne and still fighting valiantly. Stay in the air and pound the enemy to dust. I do not get the frame rate issues. I am running a very powerful PC. There are the same extra dimensionals from Rumi's events. The Mezek 10 and the trains combined efforts managed to bring down a significant number of airborne enemies. When Lion determined they'd been given enough breathing room, she contacted the train and they immediately answered. Good evening, I'm Queen Elizabeth, one of the original proponents of the Eternal Sun Project. This train is called the Queen's Light. We heard your distress signal and were obliged by oath to come and assist. I'm glad there's still an active resistance here. What is your status? Miss Governor, Says she's Elizabeth and claims she came because of an oath. Seems to have mistaken us for damage in this world. I wonder if this Eternal Sun project has anything to do with the distress signal in the name of the Eternal Sun. I think they're real allies. Whoever sent that signal got here before us. Their technology is much more advanced than ours. Miss Governor, what should we do? Hello, do you copy? How strange. It does say we're on the line. Miss Governor, please say something. Ahem! We hear you. Elizabeth, is it? I am Lion. I serve the realm of the never-setting sun. I am the governor of the Nile in my home world. Good to meet you, Lion. I just arrived here, so we know nothing about your situation. On all the information you have on this world, Royal Navy's remaining forces, and the enemy. You just grunts. Is something the matter? Well, you see, we also came here after receiving a distress signal. I was nothing about this world, just like you. In fact, we've been looking for someone who can explain things to us. The other end of the line fell silent before speaking to him again. Damn bugger and blast! This is not what I was expecting. What a confusing mess this is. Here's more. You said your name was Queen Elizabeth, did you not? It's my first time meeting you. Alive, I mean. Again, the other line fell silent. What an honor. Your world must have quite a complicated history. I'll have to discuss another time, though. We're both here for the same reason. Shall we team up? First, let's see what remains of these things, then find a safe place and exchange information. Sound good? That it does. Let us work together. Hang on. So you notice? Yes, a mass-produced fleet is approaching us from the northwest. What are those things in the air? Royal Navy aircraft? Could they be another force that received the distress signal? No, this time it's actual survivors from this world. Come on then, let's deal with these foes, then go and meet up with them. Her voice actress sounds very familiar. With our overwhelming advantage, they encircled and annihilated the enemy. Silence returned to the chaotic sea. Oh, that was a gripping and grand victory. You, the beautiful lady. It was you who called for help, was it not? Using the Mezek's equipment, Lion projected a hologram of herself into the air. She stood tall like a divine golden giant. Seeing this, the girl leading the mass-produced fleet's ships responded with a gracious bow. I am Glorious, the flagship of the realm of the never-setting sun. I welcome you, our allies. I have no doubts that, after coming from such distant worlds, you must have many questions for me. However, I think you'll agree that this place is not suited for a reception. Let's first move to a safe location, then we may speak. I just realized, like, you can see her lingerie by default. My goodness. Line Elizabeth acknowledged. Lift your airship and flying train and follow the lead of the aircraft to the port of London. I'm just assuming it's London because LD. I assume a lot with these numbers. Lion and Elizabeth's parties were overwhelmed as they flew over the lifeless land, beloved home twisted beyond recognition. Both sides happened to suggest landing in the Thames for now. After passing the fortified Tower Bridge, they stood before the most well-preserved place in the former capital, the Rose Tower. Glorious welcomed them with a ceremony. Elizabeth had hoped to question her about this world immediately, but everything she saw only added to her questions, so she restrained herself and waited for the ceremony to end. Knights led the procession, accompanied by maids. The banquet was a far cry from the luxury back home, but did serve as a sign of their host's care. Finally, it came time for all questions to be answered. There were too few attendants to make use of the spacious reception hall, but the comings and goings of maids made up for the lack of activity. After accepting tea from Gloucester, Lion was the first to speak up. Glorious, our hospitality is appreciated, but I think it's time to get to business. Just us, none of your pawns. I'm sorry. I'm so accustomed to their presence that I hardly notice them. You're right, though. It's odd. I admit my mistake. Glorious waved a hand, and her busy maids, the pawns, left the reception hall at once. The heavy door closed. Empty silence hung over the hall. Allow me to apologize again. It's been so long since we had guests. So you've been stuck living with pawns all this time? Sorry, too. I should have guessed your circumstances. No. It's natural that you have suspicions. I was hesitant to show myself to you before. Well, that was wrong of me. If you have questions, Please don't hesitate to ask. I'll start. Glorious, what happened to this world? How long has it been since the distress signal was sent? Are there survivors other than you? What are your military capabilities? Took the words right out of my mouth. I had a couple more questions. Where did the continent of Europa go? How did the Isle of Wight get so corrupted? And what do you know about the rising tide? Allow me to answer one at a time. As you no doubt noticed, civilization was destroyed by an extra-dimensional invasion. It's all gone. Dimensional? Is that what they call those alien things? Yes. One day I awoke to find that the very moon above our heads had become our enemy. The moon? Yes. On the night of a full moon 137 years ago, an earth-shaking boom awoke me. I rushed outside onto the balcony, looked up, it was blue, and it began to rain meteors upon the world. The meteor shower came from the moon, and why? I don't know. Scientists at the time theorized something had happened to its core, causing unprecedented earthquakes. Those quakes sent debris flying into space, which is captured by our planet's gravity. It's like a theory and more like wild speculation to me. Perhaps. Regardless, the situation made it difficult to probe into the cause. Along with the meteors, beings that the sirens called extra-dimensionals appeared. They came out of the meteors and spread their forces at never-before-seen speeds. The first attack by our factions was easily repelled. After that, with siren aid, we built the second and third lines of defense to protect battle area. You mean to say you fought alongside sirens? I made a comparison earlier, but this is a lot like Rumi's timeline. Yes? Sirens may have internal disagreements, but they've always been quite friendly with us. Friendly. Is that strange? Forget it, keep talking. Well, this foreign threat convinced even the quarreling siren elites to unite. We had to suppress the enemy for a time, but they were endless and had no sense of self-preservation. Gradually, we were whittled down and our second line fell. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth sent the distress signal after that. Allies fell one after another, and so too did the siren elites. In the end, I was the only one left. The Rose Tower area remains under my control. I can manage the creation of mass-produced sirens and pawns, but this is all the power I know that all this world can muster. These things were going that badly, why did you alone survive? Ever since the sirens just lost their power to construct this tower, extra-dimensional activity has gradually decreased all over the world. Around the time it was completed, I still had companions left, but the war was long, and while the enemy had weakened, our numbers continued to fall. Though I'm alone now, the extra-dimensionals no longer wield enough power to put an end to me. As for why me, I'm sorry. You're a brave warrior who managed to outlast the war. That's all I need to know about that. Thank you. Regarding the radiation, the extra-dimensional radiation was one reason that our defensive line fell so quickly. We didn't know how it worked. We had to rely on the Siren's purification machines, but even those couldn't fully purify it. And they learned that the radiation didn't exist within the extra-dimensionals. It was generated when they attacked. Therefore, as long as we maintained shields in vital areas, the radiation would not be able to spread. As for the rising tide of debris, we called it the same thing when we first witnessed it. The debris came from many long years of war, continuing to sink to the seafloor without ever being disposed of. We were already too short in personnel to investigate the cause before the first rising tide. We have two simple ideas regarding why. First, that maybe there's a giant extra-dimensional water underwater, and that is its means of attack. Must be incredibly powerful if so. We came up with several ideas after that, but none seemed to hit the mark. We fought extra-dimensionals for a long time after all, and never have we seen one so big. Did the Star Beast never appear? Star Beast? An enormous entity that hovers in the sky and shines like a star. I've never seen anything of the like. But if it does exist, does that not imply the existence of an abyssal beast? This could be a huge discovery. Let's not treat wild speculation as fact. What's your other theory? The other regards the moon itself. Ever since the extra-dimensionals came alongside the meteor shower, the sky has always been covered by strange particles. You notice that the sky was gray the way here, I presume. That is why. Those protocols make it impossible to observe the sky or the moon. The outline of the sun only appears sparsely. I digress. The rising tide phenomenon is related to the moon, after all. So I wonder if the moon directly causes it. That sounds more credible. I like this theory. Now, what happened to Europa? Continents are in a more complicated situation. Nearly all coastal areas were destroyed during the war. The Sirens turned some into mere turbulence areas using obfuscation system to make them impossible to observe from the outside. When you enter one, there's a chance you may never be able to leave. Just take care not to approach them. I see. You already thought they'd blown away entire continents. That's all the questions I have. What about you, your majesties? Did we hear you right? The distress signal set more than 130 years ago? Meta Elizabeth finally chimed in after remaining silent until this point. To be exact, 136 years, 3 months, and 13 days. It took us less than a day after receiving the signal to rush here. Less than 1 day? Did our reply reach you? Yes, half a year ago now. This is an hour before our departure. How could this have happened? Are you aware that we helped this world? Oh, it's Elizabeth build a time flow synchronization machine? Majesty's precious machine. I don't know anything about how it functions, but I may know its current location. Can you take us there? Yes. It's in the 5th combat sector, being guarded by my fleet of mass-produced ships. Is it the first area to be taken by the enemy? Absolutely not. I remember now. It started malfunctioning immediately after the extra dimensionals appeared. I recall her doing everything she could to repair it. I mean, it malfunctioned before she was sunk and not destroyed after? We must see it. Now, take us. We're going with you. Okay, I'll take you there. I just wanted to enjoy that for a second. Second combat sector, anti-air defense zone, Queen's Light, 4th car. Queen Elizabeth, Meta, and company took the Queen's Light in order to reach their destination as soon as possible. Lion's group, save for Cleopatra, who stayed behind to stand guard on the Mesic tent in the sky, also boarded the train. Glorious Meta was brought into the control cabin to lead the way, while all remaining members went to the 4th car to rest. Ugh, what a pleasant train. Feels like being back home again. Using mobile stasis expansion technology for a train lounge. How exorbitantly luxurious. It really is. You're on the Mesic tent. It only really is in the area where all the critical equipment is concentrated. Ha! You haven't seen anything yet. That technology is but a small part of what takes up these mirror rails. That's incredible. Incidentally, it's something I'm meaning to ask you ever since we met. Maybe rude, but I simply need to know. Go ahead, I've got questions of my own. By all means. First question. Are you really Queen Elizabeth? What kind of question is that? Your version of me must be gone, but surely you still have pictures of her. The only time she appears in history books or as a name. Yep, haven't seen any illustration or anything. I've been to many test sites, but this is the first time I've heard something like this. What do you mean? Does your world draw a difference between the concepts of warship and human? Look around you. Could you not ask such basic questions? Well, you see. In our world, Queen Elizabeth sank in the fight against the Sirens not as a human, but as a warship. The Sirens truly are despicable. Indeed. So then, the Sirens were the enemies in your world when you fought them? Was that not the case? Was that the case in yours? More or less. And yet, Glorious said they were allies in this world. How is that possible? It depends on the test site. To elaborate will require a long-winded explanation of what the Sirens truly are, so I won't. That's fine. I defeated them anyway. You defeated them? Interesting. So, what became of your world? I'm not there to lead you. I presume King George V took my place. No. King George V, the warship, was also sunk by the Sirens. Those bastards. Excuse me, I should say my condolences. Then what happened? Would be the me or George around. I presume our parliament is in charge then? Correct. Our realm was run by the two houses of parliament. That being said, the two aren't as powerful as you'd think. Alright, let me make a guess. Introduce yourself as the governor of the Nile. Do you rule in a separatist manner? Separatist? How libelous! I would simply say my authority is amply respected. Oh, I'm sure. Respected. What's your next question? That would be... actually, wait, I'm curious about something. What became of Warspite's Valiance? What's about Hood, Illustrious and Vanguard, or Duke of York and Prince of Wales? Also, who's the current head of the Royal Maids? Who commands the Royal Knights? I'm slightly curious about. From my perspective, this is like looking at the world after I died. You must understand. Wales is the realm Prime Minister. Hood is the Minister of House of Lords, and Vanguard is the commander of the Palace Guards. I'm surprised Vanguard's people say the same. Hearing about myself from a parallel world is a rather strange experience. The kind of experience you can only get by leaving your home. Duke of York is the Governor-General of the Maple Monarchy. Warspite is the Governor-General of the Pacific Ocean. Illustrious is the Governor-General of the Mediterranean Sea, as well as the Direct Supervisor of Trafalgar. Governor-Generals, eh? I have considered that before. Seems you were the ones to implement it. So Trafalgar works under Illustrious, does she? Is he on this mission with you then? No. However, this mission was supported by both the Imperial Prime Minister and both houses of Parliament. On the day this expedition was voted on, I happened to be absent, and it was decided that I would be the one to lead it. It was also decided that the Imperial Center and signing governors would provide me with a certain amount of support. Sounds to me like they conspired against you. Had I been present, I simply would have volunteered for the task. I will go down in history for this grand expedition. I see. You learned quite a lot of fame if it's successful. Precisely. By the way, Newcastle is head of the Royal Maids, and Royal Oak is the commander of the Royal Knights. Finally, there's Valiant. She is the Governor-General of Terra Australis and the Solomon Islands. I've heard she's pursuing a third Governor-Generalship. Goodness gracious, that's so like her. What about Belle? Sick by the sirens of worship. Thus, this is my first time seeing you, Belfast. I had an inkling of that when you said Newcastle holds my would-be position. Since Her Majesty is no longer with you, it makes sense that I am neither, for the sake of the siren script. May I ask a question now? Of course. Alright. Were you both together with Elizabeth Meta and the two Elizabeths in your world? No, she comes from another test site. I can probably guess why you asked that question. Sadly, the answer is, it's not possible. How unfortunate. What about the other Metas? I have enough of them for entire fleets. They each have their own story, likely similar to that's glorious. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask them yourself. See, if the opportunity arises, I will. Ding 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 ding, bang, boom boom boom. Attention, we're almost there, get ready to disembark. Boom boom boom, ding 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 ding, boom boom boom. What an eccentric announcer. She changed it to Miss D's bloody voice pack. Forget it, just think of it as some weird sound clips. Come on, let's get off. I'm gonna get off if you know what I'm saying. The group disembarked the luxurious train, stepping back into the desolate world. The ground beneath them wasn't much different than what they'd seen so far. But up in the ashen sky, something new caught their eyes. It was a collection of pupae surrounded by winding, sepal-like metallic structures. Each one silently hovered in the air, as if suspended by invisible strings. What are those? They don't appear to be extra-dimensionals. Glorious, are they some kind of weapon of yours? Not quite. They're what we call buds of the full moon. They showed up around the time of the meteor shower long ago, and appear exclusively on the Royal Islands. They appear and disappear with no apparent regularity, and when they return, there's always more of them. Initially, there were just a handful, and I think there are around 300? We scanned them with the train. Those sepal-like cases are likely a safety mechanism, and we have no idea what's inside them. Have you ever tried to destroy them? Sirens tried and failed to destroy even a single one. However, the attempt did cause a devastating explosion that not only obliterated the Siren safety bunker, but also flattened the entire anchorage of Scapa Flow. As you might expect, nobody dared touch them after that. Despite their intimidating appearance, they simply float there, doing nothing. Pointing them aside, over there is where the device is located. This is the 5th Wireless Communications Laboratory. Glorious Meta gestured towards a large building not far from there. Wireless Communications Laboratory? That's a good cover name. Your Majesty perhaps thought it was amusing. Now that I think about it, one could say I managed to make contact with you thanks to a kind of wireless communication. The laboratory is in a rather poor state of maintenance, so it would take a lot of work to search through it. For that reason, I mobilized some heavy obstacle clearing machines from a force nearby when we departed. But for better or for worse, the train got here so fast the machines haven't had time to do their work. Please wait for them. We departed. Wait, where's the Bezictet? Lamb was surged he had ordered the Bezictet to follow the train after departure, and yet it was nowhere to be seen now that they had arrived. It fell behind because it's just too slow. Don't panic. I see the onboard radar, and it's fine. It'll arrive sooner or later. So we got here quickly, and only have to wait for the machines to finish. We can do more than just wait. We shall perform a scan from the outside. Elizabeth Meta activated the train scanner. Seeing the result, she made a gloomy expression. You look ill. Lady Elizabeth, have you discovered something unfortunate? We found the device. I said the laboratory's underground section. The section is in good structural condition. Why, even some of the security systems are still operating. However, its two most important components are missing, the tracking indicator and the inaccuracy synchronizer. Missing? Somebody damaged the device? Yes, and whoever did so knew exactly what they were doing. Those components were sealed from the inside, inside the device when it was completed. Only its makers were able to take them out without breaking the exterior. Yet the exterior is perfectly intact and the internals are gone. It's little wonder this world's Elizabeth couldn't fix it. She could have anticipated such a confounding issue. So the world's hope was destroyed by human hands. Who could have done this? Can you locate the perpetrator? We shall try. In that instant, time stopped. Beginning examination. All the surroundings expanded in different directions, forming countless overlapping images. Elizabeth Meta hunched forward, began looking for the exact moment the crucial change happened. Alright, there it is. Let us see who committed this horrific deed. I guess it's there, Elizabeth. Her examination continued. Looking around, she saw only nothingness. What?